Hello, and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey, and I am the founder. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to today's lecture. I want to thank everybody for all of the birthday wishes, all of the birthday gifts. Thank you so much. I am forever grateful. Had a great birthday. I believe that this year is going to be a phenomenal year. I'm looking forward to it. Um, I also want to thank everybody for your continued support. If this is your first time listening in, please let us know what city, what state, what country you're listening in from. Also, if you can, hit the like button for us. It helps us to raise the algorithms and it helps us to become more visible. And if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are here same time, same place every week. And we are forever grateful for your presence. We want to thank everybody for your continued support, for sharing our broadcast, letting people know about us, helping us to grow, helping us to expand. So we want to thank you. I want to encourage everybody to, this may be a very difficult time as we know what's happening in the world, things that are outside of our control. But in the midst of that, I always want to encourage everybody to still work on you, work on your goals, work on your dreams, work on your manifestations. I always want to encourage those to continue to do the things that you want to do in life and the things that you want to have done in great uh, totality. And so it's extremely important that we keep our minds focused, that we keep our minds stayed in on what we're working on and what we're doing, and don't allow ourselves to be discouraged, don't allow ourselves to be fearful, and don't allow ourselves to allow fear to intercept or integrate into our lives to bring forth any kind of fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real, or some believe that it's facing everything and recovering. But I want to say that I believe that this is a greater time for us, even in the midst of what's going on, that we still have the ability to reign. We still have the ability to become the best version of ourselves. We still have the greatest opportunity to grow and expand. And listen to me, I am grateful that we have the knowledge and the wisdom to do so. I say this very often that whoever's in your ear will determine your year. And so it's very important. It's vitally important that you make sure you have the right person in your ear. And so it's very alarming that we make sure we put ourselves in a position to win, position to grow. I know that spring jumped forward with us today. We lost an hour, but even in the midst of that, I feel like everything happens for a divine reason. We're always in the right place at the right time. We're always in the right position. We always are in the right state of mind. And I believe that consciousness is our only reality. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's no greater time than the present right now. And so if we're going to grow, if we're going to expand, if we're going to take what we have and take what it is that we want to manifest and bring into this year of 2026, there's no greater time than the present. We just entered into 2026 in New Year's, January 1st, and already we're in March. The year is flying. The year is moving. And so as the year continues to move, as the year continues to grow, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to move forward and go forward. Now, I know that we're still under the Mercury retrograde. And what that means is not nothing to be alarmed about. It just means that things you do, be careful when you're driving. Be careful if you're signing any documents or doing anything, writing contracts or anything like that, you want to make sure go over the information. If you are communicating with people, you want to make sure that they understand what you're communicating, that there's an understanding. Communication is not how well you speak, it's how well you're understood. And so this will go on until the 20th of March. The 20th of March, Mercury goes back direct, and we will be back in the flow of how everything happens. But Mercury rules short distance travel. It rules communication. It rules paperwork and signing documents and so forth. So just keep that in mind. We may have issues with our phones as far as the technology communication with the phones and so forth. But just to give you a heads up, and this goes on until March 20th. And so I wanted to just keep you abreast on that. Let's go ahead and find our quiet place as we get ready to go into our spiritual mind treatments. I have a little lesson for today that I want to get into. I think that it's something that will be very beneficial to everybody. If you can, go ahead and get in a position and go ahead and take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. There is one presence, one intelligence, one infinite source that never runs out, that never goes bankrupt, that never gets nervous, never needs permission, and that presence moves through me as clarity, command, courage, and creative power. I declare right now that prosperity is not a chase, it is a consequence. It is an echo. It is a reflection. It is the natural response of life to a mind that has remembered its authority. Today I release that old spell, the belief that money is outside of me, and belief that I must beg the world to bless me, and belief that I must suffer before I deserve. I accept a higher law. Money follows order. Money follows value. Money follows vision. Money follows disciplined imagination. My mind becomes magnetic because my mind becomes clean. My focus becomes wealth because my focus becomes faithful. My hands become prosperous because my hands become intentional. I decree what is for me cannot be missed. What aligns with my assignment now finds me. Opportunities recognize me. Resources respect me. Right people locate me. Right timing opens for me. And so it is, and so it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk from the subject, the art of financial magnetism. The art of financial magnetism. Financial magnetism is not luck. It is not good energy with no structure. It is not a wish dressed up in a vision board. Financial magnetism is the ability to attract money, opportunities, resources, and high-valued relationships because of your inner world is arranged in a way that makes you desirable to prosperity. Let me say that one more time. Financial magnetism is the ability to attract money, opportunities, resources, and high-value relationships because of your inner world is arranged in a way that makes you desirable to prosperity. A magnet doesn't chase metal. Metal responds to the magnetic field. So the question becomes, what field are you projecting? Because money is not only currency, money is a response system. It responds to clarity, confidence, consistency, character, and contribution. Financial magnetism is when your thoughts, habits, skill, and identity create a field where abundance feels safe approaching you. I want to just look at this very quickly. I believe that there's three layers of magnetism. The first is going to be mind magnetism. What you believe is possible, what you expect, what you tolerate. Everything starts in the mind. Here at the Temple of Enlightenment in the National Spiritual Center, we understand that everything is mind. Everything is mind. Number two would be the behavior magnetism. What you do daily, how you manage, how you execute, how you finish. The next one, number three, is going to be value magnetism. What you offer that actually solves problems and moves people forward. You can't manifest your way around the math of value, but you also can't work hard your way around the frequency of self-sabotage. Financial magnetism is when spirit plus skill stop arguing and start collaborating. What I would recommend as an exercise for you is to write down 10 things money is attracted to. You can say money is attracted to clarity, money is attracted to confidence, consistency, character, contribution. You can finish those sentences, right? Then I want you to circle the top three answers and ask, am I embodying these three qualities right now? So after you pick the three qualities that you wrote down that money is attracted to, I want you to ask yourself, am I embodying these qualities right here, right now? Because the goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is to activate the financial magnetism. Some people talk about attraction like it's a substitute for strategy. No, attraction is the inner alignment that makes strategy effective. Here's the truth. If your mind is chaotic, your money will be chaotic. If your focus is fractured, your income will be fractured. If you can't hold a decision, you won't hold wealth. Financial magnetism requires mental coherence, the ability to aim your mind like a laser. I wonder how many people have really been working with the dollar sign. I believe that's a very powerful lecture that we just did, and it was called the 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 mysteries of the dollar sign. And I wanted to know, when you see the dollar sign now, you understand what it means. You know psychologically, emotionally, metaphysically what that symbol means. And it ought to activate, it ought to shift in you when you see that, the understanding of it, what it meant. And so I'm just curious to know how many of us have really been working with the dollar sign. The magnetism formula says that clarity plus emotion plus plus repetition plus action equals attraction. Once again, clarity plus emotion plus repetition plus action equals attraction. Clarity is defined by the amount, the method, the timeline, the why. Your emotion is what money follows conviction, not confusion. Repetition, your nervous system must normalize receiving. And the action means you must become visible to the very thing you want. I say this time and time again. Everything that we are seeking is seeking us. Everything that you want to see in your life right now, it wants to be in your life and it wants to be with you. And so if you know that, the key, once again, as we talked about this, everything starts off with mind. If your mind is chaotic, your money will be chaotic. So the first thing we got to do in order to activate the financial magnetism is you have to learn how to activate the stability, activate the structure of your mind. I would I would believe that each one of us, if we took the initiative every day, and I have something I call the 5-minute money command. Every morning you would name your financial target. You would name the value you will deliver today. You would name the action you will take today. You would name the person or the market you will serve today. And you would say something like, today I move like someone money can trust. These are just ideas of how you would operate, how you would think. You would get up and say, I am financially magnetizing, and you would understand that my mind is the magnetizing powers in my mind. You would understand all of the things we've been talking about over the weeks about money and financials and the law of circulation and all of these things, how they are layers and layers of just adding on to every week we go to a higher level, a deeper depth. Money rarely rises above identity for long. If you see yourself as behind, if you see yourself as unworthy, if you see yourself always struggling, if you see yourself almost there, if you see yourself always needing permission, then you will keep recreating the situations that match your self-concept, because the subconscious doesn't chase your goals. It defends your identity. Ladies and gentlemen, who do you identify as? The wealth identity shifts. And if you're going to be wealthy, your wealthy identity shifts. You go from the consumer to the creator. You go from the employee mindset to the enterprise mindset. You go from hope to standards. You go from random effort to intentional systems. You go from wanting money to being valuable. And then I believe that there's some questions that have to be asked. What do I believe people like me can earn? You have to ask yourself the question, what do I believe people like me can earn? What is people like me? What do you see people like me as? What do I secretly fear will happen if I become wealthy? Some of us are afraid to be successful. Some of us are afraid to be wealthy. Why? Because we've never experienced it again. Yeah, we want it and we want to live better lives, but some of us are afraid of success. What would I have to stop tolerating to become financially magnetic? There's something that you are letting happen in your mind and in your life. There's some things that you would have to stop tolerating and put it into in order to do that. You would have to ask the question is, what is that? And how do I deal with that? How do I tackle that? Where do I stand in the midst of that? Where do you stand? Because you have to come to a place where you got to say to yourself, I have to stop tolerating this. You have to ask yourself, where do I stand in this? Because if I want to be financially magnetic, there's some things I'm going to have to stop. There's some things that I'm going to have to stop tolerating. There's some things that I'm going to have to stop letting happen and let, to be a part of my life. I'm going to have to put an end to some things. And then you got to ask yourself the question, where do I still perform, struggle for approval? These are some of the questions that will enlighten you. These are some of the questions that will make you say and make you look at things in your life in a specific light that will hopefully allow you to make the shifts. Because you then make you then describe it as you make a new identity change, and it'll almost be like a new role in a movie, new wardrobe, new posture, new daily habits, new speech, new boundaries. Remember, we have the ability to change our reality. We have the ability to rewrite the script of our life. If we don't like what's going on, we can rewrite it. A lot of people aren't broke because the universe is against them. They're broke because their skill set is underdeveloped. Skill is not separate from spirituality. Skill is applied intelligence. Skill is value made practical. Financial magnetism increases when you increase your ability to solve problems, your ability to communicate clearly, your ability to create results, your ability to deliver consistently. And understand, when I say a lot of people aren't broke because the universe is against them, a lot of times we feel like the world is against us. What am I doing wrong? Everything I'm trying to do just isn't working. Understand, broke is a mindset. It starts off in the mind. It's a mindset. And once you're able to identify that, you're able to change and shift the mindset. I always say that there's a different way of how we can strategize to change our situation and our circumstance. There's so many ways for us to be financially uh, magnetizing. Many of us have so many ideas. We have so many opportunities. We don't activate. We don't execute. But I'm going to name a list of things right now. I want you to pick one of these things, and I want you to work with this and learn how to master it for 90 days. Everybody here is good at one of these things that I'm going to say. And if you can master these within 90 days, the next 90 days, it will kind of put you in a great position to really be able to become financially magnetizing. Some people are good in sales. Some people are good in copywriting. Some people are good at public speaking. Some of you are good in video content and video blogging and so forth. Some of you are good in consultations. Some of you are good at building offers. Some of you are good at running ads. Some of you are good in leadership. And some of you are good in financial literacy. Whatever you think that you're good at, I would take 30 minutes a day learning it, plus another 30 minutes applying it. 30 minutes to learn it, to get information about it, and then 30 minutes to apply it. Your bank account loves consistent competence. Some people pray for abundance while living in the environment that trains scarcity. Cluttered spaces, unpaid bills hidden in drawers, disorganized accounts, chaotic schedules, friends who shame ambition, content consumption that breeds fear. Your environment is your subconscious teacher. In this instance, I would tell you to build a prosperity environment. Build the kind of environment of what you want to manifest. Clean your primary workspace. Create a money station, notebook, folder. Unsubscribe from fear-based content. Add one daily input of wealth thinking, whether it's an audio, a book, a lecture. Um, I have people who tell me, they'll listen to me today, but then they'll email us on Wednesday and Thursday and say, hey, I've been listening to you at work. This is phenomenal. I shared you with my coworkers. So, stuff like this will give you the push, give you the support, the assistance, and putting that daily input of wealth thinking. Spend time with one person or community that speaks enterprise or wealthy language. Your field must match your future. And so that's why I'm so excited that you guys are here with us every week, because you need to be around people who speak the same language, people who are like-minded, who have the same mindset, the same thoughts, who are aiming for the same position, the same things in life. And when you understand um, that sometimes you have to really, people will say you look like you're crazy. Why do you look like you're crazy? Because in your mind, you are already wealthy. You already shift your identity, and your identity says that you are wealthy. Your identity says that you are elevated and that you are this person. And so you've already accepted it. You're already walking around with your mind's eye and your mindset. You already accumulating this thing. And so because you're doing that, it now brings you to a place where, as you begin to make the identity shift in your mind, the universe will have to make it equally balanced. Because remember, we're walking mirrors. Anybody who's having a financial magnetism issue, a money issue, any kind of brokenness, any kind of drama, discord in their life, their physical life, it's a reflection of what's going on inside. And so I have to take the initiative and be able to go within, go deep within, make the change. Once I make that change, then I'm able now to move into another place, in another plateau. And we're able to get ourselves into that place, build the prosperity, envelop a prosperity environment. You know, have your vision boards, have your folders, your books, your audio books. Um, We have a variety of lectures and teachings that you can listen to on our YouTube page that will constantly keep you motivated, constantly keep you inspired, so that you don't have fear. Because sometimes fear can paralyze you. Money has routes, and one of the primary routes is people. If you isolate, you reduce inflow. Financial magnetism is also being known, being trusted, being remembered, being referred, being positioned. And so you want to make sure and you understand that to be financially magnetizing, to be wealthy, is not to be isolated, but based on relationships. If you hear wealthy people talk, they'll tell you, listen to this, they'll tell you, the most important thing to me, the most important part of my life, of my wealth, of my empire, is not in the money that I have. It's not in the access that I have. You know what they're going to tell you? It's in the relationships. The people who I can look into my phone and dial and connect with. Because those are that's the foundation, that's the power. It's in the relationships. Their relationships allows them to be known, be trusted, be remembered, be referred, and be positioned. There's three circles of prosperity. The first one is a circle of visibility. People see you. The second one is going to be the circle of value. People who experience your work. The next one is going to be the circle of leverage. People who can multiply you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is good teaching. The circle of visibility. People who see you. People are going to see you. The more visible you become, the more you're able to build relationships, the more you're able to tap into your financial magnetism. The circle of value, people who experience your work, your services. What do you have to offer? We just threw out a couple a while ago, told you to pick one and work with it for 90 days. The circle of leverage, people who can multiply you, your partners. Every week, we all should take action in the three circles. Visibility, posting, speaking, showing up. The value, we serve, we deliver, we improve our results. The leverage, we collaborate, we partner, we network. These are the things that are also going to help us. Why? Because we have to move out of the comfort zone. We have to move out of what we've been doing thus far. What we've been doing thus far has not got us where we wanted to be. So in order to get where we need to be, we got to make adjustments. We got to make changes. We can't keep doing the same thing that we've always been doing, expecting something different to happen. That's insanity. A closed mouth is not a magnetic strategy. You can't attract sales if your offer is unclear. If you're trying to sell something and it's not clear on how you're selling it, a confused buyer would never buy. A magnetic offer has a specific audience, a specific problem, a specific promise, a clear process, a simple path to purchase. You want to create the magnetic offer. You want to say something like, I help people who struggle with low self-esteem so that they can overcome low self-esteem by coming into a level of self-awareness. I do it through consultations. It takes maybe 2-3 consultations, and so forth like that. If you can't say it simple, you can't sell it consistently. You want to create something that money can say yes to. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, money follows ideas. It chases ideas. And everybody listening to my voice, you are an idea and you have ideas. A lot of us are sitting on $1 million ideas. We may think are stupid. We may think that, oh, these ideas won't work. Or we may think that, oh, I don't believe that this is good enough. You're sitting on $1 million ideas. And once you keep listening to these teachings, you will begin to activate those ideas and realize the money that you were sitting on, the people that were waiting on you so that you could help them, the problems that you were able to solve. And so it's imperative that we look at the ideas that we have. Some people attract money, then panic, then spend, then sabotage, then start over. That's not lack, that's nervous system conditioning. You must train your system to receive without guilt, fear, or urgency. When money comes into your hands, pause, breathe, say, I receive this without shock. Allocate it immediately, even if it's small. 10% wealth building, 10% give flow, 10% savings, 70% living operations. Allocate is emotional stability for money. When you get money in your hands, you want to direct it. You want to give it direction. Money was designed for direction. And so we want to make sure that when the money comes in, we're able to allocate it, we're able to direct it, we're able to give it a function, give it a purpose. Clarity plus cleanup. Define your target, audit your spending, organize your accounts, clean your space, set weekly revenue activities. Value in offers, redefine your offers, create simple sales pages or messages, practice explaining your offer daily, deliver value deliver value publicly 3 times a week. When I say offer, work with your offer, everybody has something that they offer to the world. They have a service, they have a product, they have something that they can do. We named a couple of them, whatever the ones that you picked and you're working with for 90 days, work on that. Some of you have an idea, work that idea. Visibility plus relationships. Show up daily, reach out to 10 people, collaborate, ask for referrals, invite people to be to a clear next step. What's next? Visibility plus the relationships. Relationships are key. Listen, if you stay connected and you tap into source, I always tell you this, you will be at the right place at the right time to meet the right people. But you got to be prepared. You got to be ready. Everything starts within the mind first. So you're going to be ready in mind. You're going to be ready in consciousness. Systems plus receiving. Automate what you can. Set boundaries around your time. Create a consistent rhythm. Practice receiving. When you become financially magnetic, your assignment changes. You don't use magnetism to stunt. You don't use it to prove. You don't use it to flex. You don't use it to compete. You don't use it to rescue irresponsible people. That's not why we're becoming financially magnetizing. We're not out here trying to show off. We're not trying to flex in front of people. We're not trying to prove to people that we better than them and that they don't have it and that we got it. That's not what we're trying to do. So we got to be able to remove that mindset right away. We're not here to do that, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to use your financial magnetism to create stability, fund your purpose, invest in assets, support your community, and expand your mission. That's what we're going to use our financial magnetism for. And there's four levels or four uses of magnetism. The first one is going to be stability. Emergency fund, debt strategy. We want to use it for stability. Number one. Number two is structure. Your business systems, your teams, your protection. Number three is scaling, right? Reinvesting in what produces more value and more reach. And number four is service, legacy giving, community upliftment. Stability, structure, scale, and service, the four uses of magnetism. Because prosperity without purpose becomes a prison of expensive emptiness. Let me say that again. Prosperity without purpose becomes a prison of expensive emptiness. You got to ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. What does my mission need that money can supply? And then what you do, you build your wealth plan around that answer. Once again, what does my vision need that money can supply? And you're going to build your wealth plan around that answer. When you start operating in the consciousness of financial magnetism, ladies and gentlemen, your assignment changes. And you know why your assignment changes? Because your mindset changes, your consciousness changes. So what happens is this, listen to this. You start talking like this. Money responds to my clarity and my courage. I am the kind of person opportunities look for. I stop chasing and I start positioning. My mind is orderly and my money follows orders. I attract wealth by becoming valuable and visible. I am calm when I receive. I don't panic. I allocate. I honor money with structure, stewardship, and respect. I release scarcity performances and choose prosperity standards. My skills are increasing and my income reflects it. I am consistent, therefore I am magnetic. My voice carries value and the right people respond. I serve a real problem and money follows solutions. I welcome abundance without guilt or apology. I am disciplined with my time and my time multiplies my wealth. My environment supports my future and not my past. I attract aligned relationships that expand my reach. I manage money wisely and money trusts me more. I build wealth to fund purpose, not ego. I invest in assets, education, and elevation. I am financially magnetic because I am mentally elevated in consciousness. And so, ladies and gentlemen, those are the kind of thoughts, those are the kind of words you speak, those are the kind of things you begin to say when you start operating in the art of financial magnetism. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I hope you got something out of today's teaching. I hope that you guys will take this and apply it, listen to this again, and really work with this and really apply this to your life. We are already in March. Before you blink, the year 2026 will move very fastly. And in the midst of that, we all want to make sure that we have everything in order. We always want to make sure that we have put everything in perspective. And so I'm extremely grateful for everybody who's been a part of us and who's worked with us. And I'm just so excited about our future. As we get ready to move into this week, continue to listen to the teachings, help us get the word out, share it. If you heard this message today and you said, man, this is good, I really enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the share button, copy the link, text it, email to your friends, let them know we're here every week, same place, same time. If you guys want to be a blessing to the ministry and a blessing to this organization and you want to donate, you want to sow a seed, it's really, we are forever grateful. No gift is too small. No gift is too big. Whatever you have on your heart to donate, to give to this organization, we are grateful. And we believe that everything you sow into this ministry, that you will receive a 100-fold return. And that everything you put your hands to do will be made prosperous and will prosper in this season. And so it is. The ways to give are in the description below. You can go ahead and just, if you want to do Cash App and PayPal and Venmo and Zelle, all of that's in the bottom description. You can govern yourselves accordingly. I want to thank everybody for all of the birthday wishes, all of the birthday gifts. Thank you so much. I am forever grateful. I believe that this year, I'm believing it will be the best year of my life. It will be a year for me to kind of readjust, to reflect, to really, really go after and really elevate my life to another level. And so I'm forever grateful. And I want to thank everybody for your understanding and for your commitment. And so, thank you so much. I like to say this one thing: your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it is a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.